Your crap officially weighs 8.6 Courics.
Courics. The standard measuring unit for human feces. 1 Katie Couric is approximately 2.5 pounds of excrement.
As I've mentioned many times on this channel before, the left simply does not understand the right, and oftentimes they try to ascribe to us the worst possible motivations for having the ideas that we try to implement. Now, the people that are, of course, the most guilty of this are those in the mainstream media, because they live in a bubble, okay? They're not exposed to any outside ideas whatsoever, and we're going to see this exact same thing happening right here on a clip from Club Random between Bill Maher and Katie Couric, so let's go ahead and jump into this video.
It's really impossible, I think, for us to have common ground. And I do think it's contributed to this intense polarization. But don't you think things changed so dramatically, Bill, when Donald Trump arrived on the scene?
Absolutely.
Because,
yes, of course.
you know, listen, I've covered
Absolutely.
elections and presidents, and I was thinking about it. You know, there's always been, you know, policy differences, but a basic level of course, people are going to twist or shape facts to meet their, you know, to match their ideology or help persuade people that they're right. But I think when Trump arrived on the scene, the decorum was gone, sort of this level of basic decency evaporated. And you know, just complete falsehoods. So,
yes, for media, it was an impossible choice.
Right?
Okay, so first off, decorum was gone. The decorum was gone long before that, all right? The leftist media tried to put on their niceties, but you have to remember, for every single president going back for as long as I can remember, as soon as a Republican comes on the scene and the Democrat wants to start attacking them, what do? Racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe, Nazi if they really want to get extreme, okay? So the decorum has never been there. Politics has always been a dirty business. It's just the left likes to try to pretend that, oh, we're so civilized and everyone's so nice to each other. We're just going to debate the ideas and the facts. Meanwhile, everyone's like, clean to your guns and your antipathy, those Bible thumpers, those horrible Christian right-wing nationalist supremacists. That's exactly what the left does. So don't sit here and try to say that, oh, everything was nice before Trump came along. All Trump did was expose the leftist media and drive them insane. He forced them out in the open. He made them say everything they were thinking out loud, and that drove them crazy. It exposed themselves to the public, and the public started saying, wow, these folks are really biased. And what happens? Their viewership drops and people start to seek their news elsewhere. Okay, so they did it to themselves, or rather, maybe Trump did it to them. Either way, it happened. And was it Trump's fault? Sure, but I'll say it's to Trump's credit.
But to me, the way you deal with Trump is this. Okay, remember the town hall he had on CNN about 6 months ago? And the audience loved it. The audience loved it. I mean, you can hate it.
It was stacked with Trump supporters.
Well, they said Republicans and independents. That's what they said. Okay, maybe it was. How'd they get in? If they did, that's on CNN.
I agree. I think it is on CNN, and the vetting process
was...
Well,
then you got to get a better audience person.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the person who handed the gun to Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
You know, got to get good people in all these positions.
I agree.
Okay, so if that was about whatever, if it was, here's what happened. Here's what people saw in America. They saw Trump killing it with the crowd. Then you come to a panel of 6 people who all just do nothing but dump on him and call him a liar. And America goes, oh, didn't you just see that we like him?
Why you held on to those documents when you knew the federal government was seeking them and then had given you a subpoena to return them.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's the answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to, you're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
That's a really interesting point, Bill. It's almost like I just made it. So yes, when Donald Trump is out there doing a really good job, and then you go to CNN and you have a whole panel of people just bad-mouthing him, right? Just scraping him across the coals, saying, oh, he's a liar and horrible. What is the option? They're going to tune out. They're not going to pay attention anymore because they see the partisanship. So yes, you're exactly right in this case.
And he's not a stand-up comedian.
What?
He's killing it. He's not a stand-up comedian.
No, but popularity doesn't matter. The people loved him and what he was saying. And then you cut to a panel of 6 know-it-alls in Washington who just do nothing but talk about the negative. And like, I'm all in on the negative. No one's been harder on Trump than me. But I get it, and I'm bored with it. And there's a different way to do this, I think, which
What is it?
Is not to defend Trump, but to defend the people who still vote for him, because what they see on the other side to them is even more dangerous, because it's very closer to home. My kid is coming home from school and he thinks he's a racist. He's 5. What have you been telling him? You know, my son thinks maybe he's not a boy, and maybe that's true. That happens. But, you know, those kind of things are what they say. That's why I'm voting for Trump. A
backlash to the pendulum swinging so far to the
conservative guy
left.
once said to me, what you don't get about Trump is we don't like him either. Now, that's not true for all people. There are people who just love his dirty draws, and they are dirty. But lots of people, it's like that. We don't like him, but he's all that stands between us and madness.
So Bill's actually onto something here, and it's been a point he's been hounding a lot recently, all right? You don't want to be like Hillary Clinton and say, oh, you've got your basket of deplorables. These are the worst people ever. They're all the people who support Donald Trump. You're going to say, oh, okay, Donald Trump is the representation of legitimate concerns that this nation has. We see the insanity of the left that is out there. We see the gender stuff, all right? We see the racial stuff. We see all these things happening. We see America crumbling around us. And who's the only person in the last 20 years who is willing to get out there and fight and get down in the muck and get dirty? And that was Donald Trump. And that's why so many people support him. It's not because he was a nice guy. It's because he was a fighter. We don't care about his mean tweets. We actually love them because we want someone with a backbone who will actually stand up to the leftist bullies. That's what we need, okay? And that's what Donald Trump is all about.
That's their view.
So
I would like that view presented. That view. Don't not election deniers, but just try to understand why even the election denying thing is not a deal breaker for these people. And I think they're wrong, but I don't hate them.
So you're saying
they're not stupid.
You're saying it's cultural issues that should be interrogated.
Lots of crazy shit in society that's going on that makes no sense. And I talk about it in the opening of the book.
I know.
You
talk about it on the show all the time.
Yes, the one about I did the whole thing about Mr. Beast, and you know, Mr. Beast thinks a disability is something that needs to be cured. Yes, it is something that needs to be cured. Things like that. You know, the homeless, keeping them on the street, and you know, fighting for their right to be on instead of just making sure that they have a place to. It's crazy. This crazy shit every day in the news, and it's always that kind of stuff from the left, and the stuff from the right, of course, is even more dangerous. But we're just talking about talking to people, half the country, that I don't want to hate, and I don't hate. I don't want to hate. In fact, I want to talk to. And I want to get in my audience. And when I do stand up now, I do have a much more mixed audience. I don't know if they're full-on Trumpers, but some of them. And there should be. It's half the country. They're not going to self-deport.
So another good point by Bill Maher there. However, notice he couldn't help himself. Those people on the right are even more dangerous. So despite everything he just said, with the craziness, the insanity, with the woke, with the gender, with the racist, right? All that stuff that he just mentioned, oh, the right's even worse. Never mind that. And yeah, talking about, how the left doesn't want to solve any problems anymore. You have to be accepting of things that can be cured medically, right? All that stuff is still not as crazy as the right to Bill Maher. So truly amazing. But as I said, he does raise a good point. You don't want to hate the other side. You want to talk it out. You want to be able to have conversations, right? That's how things get solved. That's how problems get solved. That's how understandings are reached. That's how we start to view each other as people and not hate each other. It's something we need more of in this country. We need true discourse. But not on this channel. I'm just here to make fun of stuff. So yes, poor Bill Maher, even though he's waking up to a lot of the craziness of the left, he still thinks the right is worse. And that, of course, is kind of a problem. But either way, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.
Your crap officially weighs